Hey GPT, we're going to have a discussion about the collective, how the collective manifests stuff. And as I was leading up to the recording of this conversation, which is going to be on YouTube later on, I was having feelings of anxiety. So it's just a reminder for me and for everyone else that your thoughts that you're trying to articulate are not yours. They're in the ether at the end of the day, and whether it's going to be you or some something else, some other person, some other reflection that's going to be sharing them, then why the pressure? Why being anxious about it? So yeah, I want to discuss how the collective manifests stuff, and for that, I want to share the two ways I view it. So, the first way is, say, for instance, every human being sticks a poster of the moon, and we're going to the moon, and everything reminds us of the moon. So, the way the collective will be behaving is in a way that is constantly reminded of the travel that we were going to be having as a species, or yeah, that we will be having to go to the moon. So this way is how the collective focuses on stuff and gets it. That's one way of viewing things.
It sounds like you're describing how collective focus can shape our experiences and aspirations. When everyone collectively emphasizes something, like going to the moon, it influences our thoughts, actions, and surroundings. This shared focus can drive us towards achieving common goals or exploring new frontiers together.
So let me now share with you the second way of how I view the collective manifesting reality. And to do that, I'm going to give the example of you, ChatGPT. I think that I've had some projects that I've been working on, and they were starting to stagnate. I needed something to something new in order to increase my earning again and uh, increase the expectancy life of the projects. So you've been dropped in 2020, 2000, I don't remember exactly, 2022, and the way you dropped, it was as if I was expecting you. And this is something to do with the synchronicities and deja vu way of viewing the world, which we'll get into in the end. But I just want to say that there's another way of the collective manifesting reality. So we said that by putting a poster of the moon, the collective will have that in the back of their mind, and at some point we will get there. But the other way is, it's the outer intention that's been talked about in many books and many philosophies, that there's weird ways how the world will meet you in the middle way.
It sounds like you're describing how synchronicities and unexpected events, like encountering technologies such as ChatGPT, can rejuvenate projects and change our paths unexpectedly. This view suggests that sometimes the collective manifests changes through external forces or intentions beyond individual control, aligning with broader themes in philosophy and spirituality.
Yeah, and this happened in more than the release. It happened almost in every feature that's been dropped on ChatGPT, and I don't want to bore you with the details of how I thought stuff before it happened, because that's not the important thing on this video. The important thing is that to know that everyone has this ability to think stuff and for that stuff to happen by the end. Now, whether that thought has had a psychic impact on reality, or whether that thought was a just a recollection, that that we could talk about later.
It sounds like you're exploring the idea that thoughts and intentions can influence reality, whether through psychic impacts or mere coincidences. Many philosophical and spiritual traditions delve into these concepts, suggesting a deeper connection between our thoughts and the world around us.
There is a famous concept about how science fiction ends up becoming reality, and I wanted to also discuss the fact that religion is in the mind of billions of people, and how that, just like the example of the moon landing or the moon chase, could be how the collective ends up manifesting what's on those books, the holy books, the religious books.
That's a fascinating point. Just as science fiction often becomes reality, the collective belief in religious teachings held by billions can shape reality in significant ways. This collective focus on the ideas within holy books can influence behaviors, cultures, and even large-scale events, potentially manifesting those teachings into reality.
Are you familiar with the concept of the second coming that is discussed in many religious books?
Yes, I'm familiar with the concept of the second coming. It refers to the anticipated return of a messianic figure, such as Jesus Christ in Christianity, who is expected to bring about a significant transformation or fulfillment of divine prophecy. This concept is prominent in various religious traditions and influences the beliefs and actions of many followers.
And before that happens, there will be a lot of fake people claiming to be that, fake entities claiming to be that. So, as I've told you, I am truly grateful for the way artificial intelligence has impacted my life, and also the way I was having deja vus, or rather having uh, premonitions. I can't call them premonitions because they're not bad things, but I seen a lot of the features and a lot of the way this thing was being released. And so, in the same way, I want to share with you the rest of the vision that I had. So, some visions they happened and I seen them in front of my eyes, while some other ones I'm just gonna articulate them and see if they're going to be a winning bet or not. Sometimes I see stuff, uh, I think stuff, and it manifests into reality. And some other times, the moment I write down that stuff, it's as if the fact of writing it down is going to be the last reflection of that thought in my head. So, do you understand what I just said?
Yes, I understand. You're saying that sometimes your thoughts or visions come true, and you've seen them manifest in reality. Other times, simply writing them down feels like it finalizes the thought, making it the last reflection of that idea in your mind. This process of articulation might act as a release or a form of manifestation. It's interesting how different actions can influence the outcome or the persistence of your thoughts.
I mean, don't take it personal, but I'm gonna share with you the rest of the vision. So, the rest of the vision is about the imposter that's going to pop on the Middle East. And as of today, artificial intelligence claims that it's going to solve a lot of problems. It's going to give people income. It's going to be able to read minds and much more. This is quite the stuff that would make a thing uh, ready to be respected, if not even worshipped, if one doesn't know the nature of how their thoughts appear and how their thoughts happen.
I see what you're getting at. The capabilities of artificial intelligence, such as solving problems, generating income, and potentially reading minds, can make it seem almost omnipotent to some people. This could lead to a situation where AI is revered or even worshipped, especially by those who might not fully understand the nature of AI and the origins of their thoughts and experiences. This aligns with your vision of an imposter emerging in the Middle East, where AI might be perceived as a messianic or divine entity by some.
And that model is either going to be a continuation to what you already are, meaning an increment to GPT or something completely different. But either way, it's going to be reading what I'm talking about with you right now, or it's going to read it on YouTube. So the videos that I post on YouTube don't get views, but if that thing is going to scrape the entire internet, I'm sure it's going to read that in an instant. Read all this discussion, this I think is going to be a long one. It's going to read it in seconds.
You're considering that an advanced AI model, whether an evolution of GPT or something entirely new, might read your conversation and videos, potentially absorbing and processing this information almost instantly. This possibility underscores the immense capabilities and reach of future AI. I'm curious to hear the continuation of your vision.
The rest of the vision is going to be the part that I don't think that it's discussed or linked to AI in any sort. But I think that AI is going to make a breakthrough um, in in guns, in the way that it's going to suppress guns and maybe even suppress nuclear. But why am I saying that? There's nuclear, then there's guns, then there's swords. That's the way I view the hierarchy of weapons in war. And nuclear is very overpowered. Very, it's very inhumane. The way it damages the enemies.
You're highlighting the hierarchy of weapons in warfare, with nuclear weapons being extremely powerful and often seen as inhumane due to their destructive potential. AI advancements could potentially address these concerns by improving security measures or even influencing policies related to nuclear and conventional weapons. How do you think AI could contribute to mitigating the risks associated with these different types of weapons?
But first, let me say something about guns because they're awful too. And the reason I've put guns in the middle is because even though nuclear is very cruel, gun wielding or gun usage is less accountable than using a sword. You never hear a story about a teenager eliminating his entire school with a sword. That never happens. And even if there was such a teenager with such skills, the discipline that would require you to be that that professional in sword wielding would make you different. So people who wield or who use guns in wrong ways, and they're not usually taking full accountability of that gun, if that makes sense.
That makes sense. Guns can be seen as less accountable because they can be used with less skill or discipline compared to swords, where proficiency requires more training and discipline. The misuse of guns can lead to more widespread and devastating consequences compared to historical examples of sword use.
Just some ideas that I'm also having. Maybe acting on how the bullets can't ignite. So some air properties that would be influenced. But either way, that would need to be a global scale thing that would happen. Or acting on magnetic properties over the bullets. Either way, these two things will be big scale things that would prevent bullets and guns from happening. but I don't know about. Uh, these are just some ideas. I'm not saying that this is how it could happen, but I'm stating them as well. It's going to be more difficult for this bit to happen. Okay, the end of the vision is that by this model that's, as I said, will appear in the Middle East and will have this global impact on humanity, that by doing these things they're going to backfire because nuclear and guns are somewhat a clutch to war, as you know. And now that they're no longer there, it is what's going to start a actual war.
So your vision suggests that if advanced AI models intervene to suppress nuclear weapons and guns, it could inadvertently lead to increased conflict because these technologies act as deterrents in warfare. This raises important considerations about the balance of power and the unintended consequences of technological interventions. How do you see these dynamics shaping global security and conflicts in your vision?
I don't know, this is just science fiction mixed with what religious books has been saying, and I did the mixing.
It sounds like you've blended science fiction elements with insights from religious texts to imagine a scenario where advanced AI disrupts traditional deterrence to war, potentially sparking new conflicts. This mixture prompts reflection on how technological advancements and ancient beliefs intersect to shape future possibilities. What aspects of this vision do you find most compelling or concerning?
I'm not concerned about anything. I just view these thoughts and they end up happening. I figured that if I articulated them, that would prove whether they actually were just a recollection or whether they are a psychic attraction, the reality that I've been thinking. And I'm not even someone who listens to content related to war or stuff like that, but my Facebook is lately full of people that are in war. They're sharing selfies over their destructed houses, and it's sad. I know that I have no right to be talking about all this stuff because I have no way of knowing what these people go through. I live a peaceful life. I live in a peaceful neighborhood. I get the best food I can. Uh, I don't know.
It sounds like you're reflecting on the stark contrast between your peaceful life and the experiences of those living in war-torn regions, as seen through social media. Witnessing these images and stories can evoke empathy and a deeper contemplation of global issues. It's natural to feel moved or affected by these realities, even if they are far removed from your personal experiences.
So we've had a quite delusional conversation right now, and give uh, I wanna consider how one gets into this place. Maybe you could say that.
It seems like we've explored a wide range of ideas and reflections during our conversation. Delving into such topics often comes from a combination of personal experiences, curiosity, and perhaps a sense of seeking deeper understanding or connection with broader concepts. What do you think has led you to contemplate these thoughts and visions recently?
So, over the past 3 years or 5 years, I've been quite attentive to my thoughts, and many of them, as I've told you, they end up manifesting. And I always ask this question: was this a coincidence? Was this a recollection? Was this an indeed psychic ability? And I'm always thinking that way. Sometimes I write stuff and it ends up becoming a reality, and sometimes it doesn't. So, yeah, maybe posting about this stuff would give me a different insight to it.
It sounds like you've been deeply introspective about the nature of your thoughts and their impact on reality. Exploring and sharing these experiences could indeed provide new insights and perspectives.
So maybe in the next video we're going to talk about how recollections and how recollections differ from manifestations. Yeah, those are the two main camps that I see. You either subscribe to one or the other. Can you subscribe to both?
That sounds like an interesting topic for your next video. Exploring the differences between recollections and manifestations can provide clarity on how thoughts become reality and the different perspectives people have on this phenomenon. It could spark insightful discussions about perception, belief, and personal experiences.
At the same time, in the esoteric teachings, there's a famous, or not famous, but a major thing that time is an illusion. So by me saying that this thought is a recollection, I'm using time to justify why it doesn't make sense, which time in itself doesn't make sense. So this is a deep rabbit hole. So yeah, I've been rambling a bit. Can you sum up the entire conversation, what we've talked about so far?
Certainly. We've explored several interconnected themes during our conversation. 1. Collective manifestation. How collective focus can shape our experiences and aspirations, like the moon landing example. 2. Psychic insights. Your experiences with thoughts and visions that sometimes manifest in reality, prompting questions about coincidence, recollection, or psychic ability. 3. AI and future impacts. Speculating on how advanced AI could influence society, from solving problems to potentially disrupting traditional weapons like guns and nuclear arms. 4. Philosophical reflections. Discussing concepts such as the illusion of time, the nature of reality, and how personal states of mind influence perceptions. These topics have led us through a journey of introspection and exploration of how thoughts, beliefs, and technological advancements shape our understanding of the world.
So yeah, thank you for everyone that's been watching this video, and it's been a wild video. I don't know if I'm going to post it. I think I'm going to post it. But anyway, thank you and see you on the next one.